Sup players, and welcome back to another Danish Nationals video. Right now it's the semifinals, which means that we are almost done with the entire, the entire, what's it called? The entire tournament. That was the word that I was looking for. But yeah, basically it's the semifinals. We are just about to start everything here, and the players, as we see here, they're rolling some dice to figure out who will start out this tour. And it looks like that it were player left, not player left, player right that won the die roll. And I just moved the chair, guys. So well, that's the noise behind me, or in the background, not behind me. Sorry for that confusion. I also are right now editing some videos on my computer besides me. So if you hear some clicking noises, that's the reason why. That's the reason behind that. So yeah. Um. But yeah, as we see here, the player right here starts out with Maliss in Underground. So it's Maliss versus something unknown so far, to me at least. Because you guys already know what it is. You already know the decks that are competing. And White Rabbit is going to resolve right here to summon himself. And that is not White Rabbit, that is Dormouse. It's just me I'm just stupid, apparently. So yeah. And she's going to banish. Is that Jessica? It looks like Jessica. And declare effect to draw a card, I believe is the effect. So yeah. Banish one Malice to draw 3 cards. Sure. And also it's a little windy outside, so if you can hear some noises as well in the background, that is just because that it's a little windy. And again, I do apologize for that. So yeah. We're going to set a Malice trap right here. So yeah. And we're going to link summon away all monsters to go into a link monster here, I believe, into White Binder. And Fuvulas was also dropped by the player left here, so he just drew a card because of that. So yeah, and we're going to set another card and activate a card banish to special summon some cards back. So we special summon Dormouse, and now I believe that White Binder activates, paying, is it 900 life points that she pays? I believe it is. So yeah. And she summons herself and sets again a card to the field and sets 2 more cards face down and passes turn over to his opponent. So yeah. And as we see here, the left player starts out by activating it looks like a spell card that he has in the hand. Either that or he's going to summon out a monster. He's going to activate Mermail Sniper, something, an Atlantean Sniper or something like that. Dumping, is that Shadow Squad that just got dumped? Maybe. Dumping Shadow Squad to summon himself. And declaring effect. No, that one is a Poseidra monster. So yeah. It's just a couple of visible confusion. So yeah. And he's going to use an effect to what pop a card, and Called by the Grave is dropped right here, making it. Oh, it was because that Dragoons were activated. So yeah. So yeah. Basically, it's much more about that. It's one of the bigger things, yeah. But we summon out Mermail Abyss Prince or something like that. And here the opponent activates a Maliss trap, it looks like, to summon, and that trap gets ashed. I'm sorry, guys, I'm a little bit tired in my voice because I've just recorded a couple of videos, so yeah. That's the reason behind why I'm sometimes yawning in the recording, so yeah. It's especially when I have, recorded like 3 or 4 videos before this. So yeah, that's kind of the reason why. But as we can see here, like the Mermail player here thinks about his play and dumps something to summon or search. I don't know what happened to the effect here. Oh, it got ashed. Okay, that's something. I believe that the Mermail player what's it called, had a little bit of a vision and thought about the effect. So that's the reason because of for the pause of the game. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see these types of games because you can evolve into many different things throughout the games. Everything from just a normal monster, or not a normal monster, just from a normal monster effect on summon evolves into something. Okay, now I can pop your monster. So yeah, that's what I kind of love about some of the relevant meta decks in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. I know that Maliss is definitely one of the better decks, but Mermails, even though that you've lost Behemoth Shark, this deck is still pretty strong. So yeah. And I know that I'm saying a sentence too many times in one video, so I'm sorry for that, guys. I do apologize for being a jerk at that point, but we're going to special summon out. What is that? Something that is Mermail's Shadow Squad, it looks like. So it looks like that he did steal a monster from his opponent here, so that's a little bit interesting here. And I also believe that there were just a judge in over this entire situation, so it makes sense to just, because for a second there I were a little bit confused because of the effects that were happening on the field. But yeah, we overlay into the rank 7 here. We see, I believe it boosts all his water monsters with, like, is it 500 attack that he is boosted with? Which I would say, first of all, I cannot remember all the effects, and then we special summon back the Atlantean and Soldier or Defender or something like that. I believe he's one of the Defender cards, so yeah. And then we overlay into the Abyss King, because you can summon him by using a rank 5 or higher like Siege monster to summon him. And that is a monster that makes that level 5 or higher monsters on the field cannot declare an attack, which it's always fun to not doing anything in at all in the duel. So yeah, but here we see that the Maliss monster, or not monster, the player activates a trap, paying some life points and summoning back a white rabbit. It looks like, and pays 300 points. And now we search or sets a trap. I believe that he sets a trap, right? Yeah, he does. He does. So yeah, but it's actually really interesting to see the how the outcome of this duel will actually how it will go, because as we can see here, what's it called? As we can see here, the Mermail player still do have a couple of tricks up in his sleeve, I believe, because it's definitely something. Yeah, I will say that. But I actually don't know. I cannot remember all of the combos of the Mermail deck. I cannot remember all of the combos. I know that the newer combos requires that you also play the berry statue that he just dumped right here. And we can see here that the Maliss player activated the trap card that banishes one Maliss monster to what's it called? Um, to summon a Malice monster from the deck. And was it Jessica that he summoned? It's actually pretty, it's pretty interesting to sometimes see these matches. Was that everything, or did he just bounce a lot of cards? It looks like that he did bounce a lot of cards. And again, I will say this: whenever you're playing in the bigger tournaments like this, well, you definitely feel some sort of adrenaline that pumps through your body in some sort of way. You get excited about the match because okay, when you win, you are one step closer to win. First of all, the match, but then you're also one step closer to getting into the finals and also winning the finals. But yeah, as we see here, we do have a couple of effects that triggers now. So he punishes the bear statue plus one of the mermails, I believe it was, that he just banished. And yeah, that's basically it, I think. Again, I know that the Xyz on the Mermail player's field, I know that it prevents level 5 or higher monsters from attacking, but then again, if you're only playing link monsters, then you kind of don't care about that restriction, if you can follow me on that point. It's just like, I know for decks like, if I were playing, let us say I played Mermails before, and mostly in Master Duel, not in real life, because I don't have the cards, not that many of the cards, but but then again, I will say that I will say that I definitely love to play strategies where I know that no matter what, I can always get a comeback. And that is what I love about some of the strategies that we have been seeing on the feature matches right here. And we also just got Dominus Impulse right on the field here. So yeah, to negate a sub. And again, I kind of already know what the outcome of this duel will be. So he's going to link some of those monsters away to go into the Marine says Coral Anemone. that is going to discard one card to special summon one water monster, I believe. I believe that you have to discard to, summon back the monster. But then again, that is just my thoughts about it. So yeah. I'm just moving around on my setup quickly, guys, so that's why you can hear the noises in the background. So that's the reason behind it. But yeah, as we can see here, that the Mermail player definitely has, I would say, some sort of way, some sort of strategy still going here, where the Maliss player definitely, the Maliss player definitely still does have plays, I believe, but I feel like that the Mermail player will be able to take this win because first of all, he does have access to more strategies basically, and yeah. So yeah, basically, as we also kind of can see here, we have overlaid into another monster. Is that it looks like that is Levature Dragon, which is one of the sharks, and then he have added the big fish. It looks like, and it does look like that. Yeah, it looks like that the Mermail player just gave up here, which I will say it's I will say it's not usually what happens in a duel because um usually when stuff like this happens, you know, you kind of expect that it's the opponent it's the player with the less cards on the field that gives up and that scoops the duel. But yeah, that's kind of crazy to actually think about. That's kind of crazy to think about that. It's actually the player that are beginning the turn. But I believe that I believe that the Mermail player didn't have any place to go into and didn't have any way to, finish the Malice player. So out from that information that is just given to me by reacting to the match right here, I will say that in my opinion, I will say that the Malice player won this game. And now we move on to the next game. And it also depends on who is going first here. That we can see that. Obviously, I will be seeing that when I edit the video. But then again, let's just see who starts out the duel. So it looks like that the Malice player goes second. Just from, what is happening right now. So yeah, it definitely looks like, the Mermail player scooped the game and is starting this turnout just to get the upper hand, which I would say it does make sense to do that. So yeah. And it's still a little windy outside, guys, so I'm sorry for I'm sorry for that. But yeah, as we see here, the Mermail player goes all out right now, activating the Deep Sea monster effect to look in the opponent's hand and banishes one card from the hand until the end phase, I believe, or is it the standby phase? I can't remember 100%. But yeah, that's actually something still. So he summoned out the big fish monster that summons a bunch of cards from the deck, I believe. So yeah, that's still kind of crazy to think about. And he will bounce, or not bounce. He will send two cards to the graveyard. Which I would say that's definitely something. So yeah, basically, in my opinion, guys, I would say that when the mermails pop off, they're scary. Like already, the mermail player has hand ripped two cards out of the Maliss player's hand, and out from everything, I think that he hoped to hit the lightning storm in some sort of way, and I feel like that he's going to go more often or defensive right now because of that he knows that his opponent does have lightning storm in his hand. But again, it can be a lot of things like as we can see here, he still goes full mermail combo in some sort of way, and I don't know, I don't know if the mermail deck still can set up some negates. I know that he can set up, so yeah, as we saw in the last game where he summoned out the big mermail king that prevents everything level 5 and above to attack. But I actually don't know if they have any other, engines to go, or cards to go into negates and stuff like that. Ever since that Lee lost Behemoth Shark, and I know that they haven't lost Totally Awesome, but it's definitely much harder to make that card right now. And that is just, that's definitely still something in in that sort of way. But yeah, like I feel like that his plan is to summon out the barrier statue to put off that sort of negate, or it's not a negate. It's more like a floodgate to, if it's something. And And he's going to summon out some synchro monsters that he's going to link away, it looks like, into, or no, he's synchro summoning into, that looks like it's Dragtide, a Emancipator Dragtide, which is a spell trap negator, I believe. Or is it? I believe he's also just a spell negate, which I would say it's one of the better cards to go into. And yeah. I'm sorry, guys, that I'm just a little bit quiet. I'm just working on multiple different screens at the same time. First of all, I'm recording this, then I am doing some work on my laptop as well. So, yeah. I have to, be a little bit overall. But yeah. But as we can see here as well, like, the Mermail player has set up the barrier statue floodgate right now. So that's definitely something. And I feel like that the Maliss player needs to do like a bunch of things. Like the Maliss player definitely needs to do some things to, get into, what's it called? Yeah, win the game. But yeah, it looks like, yeah, he scooped that. He did scoop that game. So yeah, he did scoop. Again, I feel like that. Like I feel like that the Malice player couldn't have done that much. I feel like that he couldn't have done that much again, because yeah, he definitely, like, he didn't have that many options to go into, first of all. So yeah, that's, I feel like that it is the most, it is the best thing to, just scoop the game, especially also since that you have around 15 minutes left on the clock of the game. So you want to have all of the time, yeah, to the world. You definitely want to have more than 10 minutes at least. You want to have 10 minutes at least on on the clock in some sort of way, because it does make sense to, just scoop the game. I will say I don't want to, because in some situations, guys, and that is just how I'm built as a Yu-Gi-Oh player. But I want to see, okay, is there any possible scenario where I can, you know, turn this game around? Is there any some sort of combo that I can do? Because usually I'm not proud of just scooping the game. In some sort of way, I'm doing it, but I love to kind of troll my friends when I'm playing at locals, as an example, where I just continue to play. Like, and I'm doing it because, well, first of all, I want to, in some sort of way, eat time away from the clock. So yeah, but yeah, game number 3, 1-1, and we started out with a Malice Dormouse here that gets negated by Dominus Impulse right here. And now Chelsea Cat is normal summon linked away into a link revo because link decoder is not an option anymore. That was also a crazy card in some sort of way. So yeah, but as we see here, they're definitely using the Ediknister engine as well in the Maliss deck here, which I would say it is the best option to do because for some reason, God knows why, Konami decided to make generic cyber support instead of just saying, okay, we're going to release Edicness to support, but we're going to make it generic so Malice can also play it. Which I would say it makes sense. So more, people speak more about the support and stuff like that and buy the set, buys more Alliance inside. But I feel like that it is kind of stupid to do in some sort of way because then it makes the life for people like the other, like other Yu-Gi-Oh players like myself, it just makes life miserable in some sort of way to play against. But yeah, I can sit here and cry about it all day long. I'm not salty, guys. I'm just pointing out a statement. I'm just saying that. But yeah, as we see here, that like if we are going to be a little bit more serious about it and looking into the match, it definitely looks like that. Like the Mermail player, the only negate that he kind of thrown at the Malice player was Dominus Impulse, and right now that card doesn't do anything against the engine or the strategy in some sort of way, as we see here. Also, something that I realized were that most people actually are using plain sleeves. I know that you're not allowed to use custom sleeves at bigger events, but like you're still allowed to use Konami's own sleeves, even though that I know that Konami sleeves are just ass without outer sleeves, no matter what. So, but I would say I'm using Konami's sleeves right now for some of my decks. The most recent I bought were the U-Bell Jaden sleeves for my U-Bell deck, as well as just other strategies because I love the design. So yeah, but that was actually funny. I haven't seen what I've seen throughout this event is that on feature matches, I don't know what other people have been playing with, like in terms of the sleeve. But yeah, and I believe that yeah, the opponent are reading. I thought for a second that his hand were his face, like his jaw, and I were like, what the hell is even that? But yeah. Okay, so he summoned out Allied Code Talker, and now it's the Mermail player's turn, which starts out with the Abyss Prince right here, as we see. And I believe that the Allied Code Talker is just a negate, right? Right? Isn't he? Let me quickly find the card. I do have the card right here, so I can just find it. Okay, so yeah, he has a negate in Allied Code, as I can see, because he can tribute White Binder here to negate an effect. But is it worth it? It depends a lot again on what the set cards is and also what cards he has in the hand. And yeah, negate and banish actually. That he negates and banishes, and then he uses an effect and activates DD Crow to banish the Mermail squad, and that's game, guys. Maliss takes the semi-final, and yeah, next time it's the finals, guys. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll just catch you in the finals of this event. Peace.